Well, I'm sitting in my chair late at night, watching crime unfold under the pale moonlight. From the darkest corners, stories unfold. True crime jewels, she's brash and she is bold. On the YouTube screen, we're digging deep into the mysteries that never sleep. From missing kids in Tennessee to angry husbands named Barry. True crime's calling and we're taking the time. So grab a seat, don't miss a beat. This True Crime Jewels got what you need. From missing people to twisted minds, we're unraveling secrets old Barry tried to hide. Every clue, every twist and turn. In the world of crime, there's always more to learn. On the YouTube screen, we're digging deep into the mysteries that never sleep. From Christopher's anger to Stephen Fisher's lies, the truth is calling and justice won't be denied. So grab a seat, don't miss a beat. True Crime Jewels on the YouTube streets. Lights are low, suspense is high. We're chasing truth, we spot every lie. Step into the darkness, hold on tight. Two flashlights out there in the dead of night. On the YouTube screen, we're digging deep. Barry Morphew's case is high. A boy in Tennessee won't be left behind. From the coldest cases to the ones that shine, true crime's calling and we're taking the time. So grab a seat, don't miss a beat. This True Crime Jewels got what you need. We're always watching Barry and waiting for the truth. In the world of crime, we discuss the proof. So hit that play and join the ride. On this true crime journey, join Jewels of Thought and our gemstone family.
Well, hello everyone. I hope you guys are all doing very well. If you can hear me, would you please put a 1? We have no jury, Kathy. It is unbelievable. It is currently 6:08 in Florida. They thought, or let me put it this way to be accurate. They predicted that they would have opening statements this afternoon. They really thought that they would have their jury seated like the earlier half of the day. And it's been a debacle in every sense of the word. So that's what I'm here to talk about. Hey, Kathy R, good to see you. Sweet Melissa. Lolo, welcome. I hope you guys are all doing well. We have thousands of people watching the never-ending jury selection in the Donna Adelson trial, and we've got thousands more watching the YouTube trauma community meltdown, and we have the other tens of thousands are all wrapped up in foodie beauty going off the rails, and so we're just going to hide over here in our quiet little corner of YouTubia and not bother anybody. How's that? Is that a deal? Because I just can't with all the silly foolishness. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I love the whole Donna show. Flash an icon, but eventually it does in fact become tiresome. Okay. So we're going to let that roll on off and be finished. And let's see, how about, because of all the chaos, we will watch a nice rainbow horizon. How's that? That'll be what we pay attention to. All right. Now then, the Adelson jury selection has run into multiple little hiccups through the day. I will say this: if I was still in the jury pool, I would be over this. I would be at the point that I would be ready to stand up and say, "Excuse me, Judge Everett, I am a raging racist, and I'm a homophobe, and I dislike overweight people, and I dislike skinny people. I hate all people. I am inappropriate for this jury. Donna Adelson is guilty, Judge, and I can't help it. I believe that. And then I would go home. Okay. I would make certain that I was dismissed from this jury. Um, it has really there have been procedural challenges, little minor disruptions leading up to today. We haven't fully gone completely off the rails, but there are some very interesting dynamics that are at play. And if you remember, this has sort of been like the trial doomed from hell, almost like Dan Markel is like haunting. Okay. Bill, Bill, what's what's wrong with the dog? Okay. Well, come here. What what is going on with him?
I just helped him up the stairs. He may be hot.
Can you bring him some water? He can't get up and walk. He's see him? I'm sorry, we're having old dog trouble, like literally old dog. Calm down, Drover. You're okay. I'm sorry, y'all. This good boy. Why is he like that? But what have you been doing? Like, what was he doing?
When I got back from my walk, he was trying to get up the stairs.
All right. So Donna Adelson, 75 years old, and we all know that she's been accused of murder, conspiracy to commit murder, and also solicitation of murder. Her son-in-law or ex-son-in-law, Dan Markel, was killed in 2014 by two hitmen that were hired by her son, Charlie Adelson, and he is currently serving a life sentence. Dan Markel was a local, not celebrity, but local community leader. He was a incredibly well-respected law professor at Florida State University. He was deeply, deeply involved in the Jewish community in Tallahassee, Florida, and he really had he was a rising star. He had his horizon in terms of law and uh, legal scholarship. He really was poised to have um, uh, great success with his career, and there was some mention that he might have been in the process of trying to move to New York. He wanted a position teaching at New York University. He was dating a woman that was a professor at New York University, and he had some important law cases that that were in New York um, that they were either winding down or just finishing up at the time that he was murdered. The case is presented by Georgia Kappelman is really one where she's presented that there was this bitter custody dispute between Dan Markel and Wendy Adelson, and that so far Wendy has been given immunity. She has not been prosecuted, but Charlie Adelson, his girlfriend's husband or baby daddy, and then the baby daddy's best friend from childhood have all been tried, found guilty, and are all now serving life sentences. So Georgia Cappleman seems to be just moving up the ladder to get to the big fish. And my guess is, or my speculation is that Wendy Adelson is quotation marks the big fish. It's also incredibly interesting that Charlie, there's some argument about whether Charlie would be willing to testify in this case, but they have moved him and relocated him to the Leon County Jail in anticipation that he would, in fact, testify in this case. So I think that is, this whole story, it's like the old Dynasty, or Dallas, the soap opera, or As the World Turns. It almost seems more like a Hollywood written script than real life. And yet, the way that this has been presented in the other 4 trials, it does definitely play like a Hollywood blockbuster. And that was one of the reasons why I wanted to take a minute today to sort of review the whole background of the case and talk about the various players, because there were people in Brittany's chat, I guess that was early this morning, that they had not heard about the Adelson saga, the murder of Dan Markel, and yet they could see that everyone is excited about the trial beginning. And so, I said, well, I'll do a little background to sort of get everybody at least kind of where they understood what was happening. And then, depending how long this silly jury selection lasts, we may have time to go and watch all 4 of the other trials before they ever get this one off the ground. So it's pretty crazy. So at this point today, we have the matriarch, Donna Sue. Is it Donna Sue? Is Sue her middle name? There were lots of women her age group that were named Donna Sue. Hey, Texas Lassie, welcome. Good to see you. So Donna is the mom of Charlie and Wendy, and then Katie and Louis Sigfrido are also Katie was Charlie's girlfriend, and Louis was the Latin Kings leader, and so they were all implicated in this very dramatic story. All right. Now, what in the world has happened to the jury selection from hell? Well, it started August the 19th, couple of days, 3 days ago. Today's the 3rd day, so 2 days ago. They had to screen for impartiality since this is considered a high profile case. And on day 1, August the 19th, they had 102 potential jurors show up, and they started individual questioning. They were focusing on day 1 about media exposure and whether those 102 potential jurors had any preconceived opinions. And of those 102, only 64 advanced to the next round. Day 2, yesterday, there was another 100 and some odd who were screened individually, and they were able to advance another, I think, was it 40? I think it was around 40. And so starting today, they would have started with 110 potential jurors. Now, today they did group voir dire, right? Supposed to start at 11:30, and basically voir dire is just questioning. Supposed to start at 11:30 this morning. They had 21 jurors that were seated in the jury box for questioning, and as one would be released, another one would take its place. The questioning began with the prosecutors, Georgia Cappleman, and then Josh Zellman was the defense attorney. And they questioned this group on things like, are law enforcement inherently good or are they inherently bad? Does the criminal justice system work? Is it fair or unfair? What's your opinion about undercover operations? Remember the bump? There's a lot of people that thought that bump was skirting with entrapment. And then what do you think about jailhouse snitches? And we know in this case with Donna, there do seem to be some jailhouse snitches that will be testifying. So even though the questions seem sort of random and kind of general and odd, if you really know the case, you can definitely see that the things they're asking are directly relevant to evidence that they will eventually be exposed to. That is, if the jury selection process from hell ever finishes and does what it's supposed to do. So currently, like literally, we have had 10 jurors dismissed. Do the math. 10 have been dismissed. More have been brought in, and we still have no semblance of a jury seated. Not even close. Now, it is 6:30, 6:22 to be exact. It's 6:30 in Florida. These jurors have not had lunch. They have not had lunch. Their breaks have been like 10 minutes, 5 minutes. I don't understand what Judge Everett is doing. I honestly don't. I think this shows such poor judgment. It's such poor judgment. And I can't help but feel it. Look, please, y'all. This is my opinion, right? This is me giving my own honest, authentic perspective. And yes, indeed, it's probably going to be dramatically different than other people that are discussing this case, because people bandwagon. People like to bandwagon so that they have lots of friends and no one gets mad at them. And I try really hard not to do that. I try really hard to use my own brain and come to my own conclusions and opinions, regardless of they make me really, really popular or they make people really against me. I don't like the bandwagoning. I think it destroys interesting conversation. All right. So I'm gonna tell you like I think it is. I think this is a poor choice for Stephen Everett, the judge. It looks calculated. And what do I mean by calculated? It looks like there's an agenda at play, like perhaps they're trying to get set up so that maybe prosecution does their opening statements and then we have to wait the whole weekend before the defense does. Look, que sera, sera. However the timing lands, then so be it, right? But isn't it the judge who is supposed to stop that type of foolishness from happening? Isn't it the judge who is supposed to keep the courtroom orderly and lawful and ethical? Because I really think at this point, if I were the judge, these poor jurors have now spent 3 days, and now here they are, 6:30, have not had a break. I'm talking about a substantial break, all day. I would say to these people, I am really sorry that this didn't go according to plan, and you guys are human beings, and you have got to be exhausted, and probably, I hope none of you have blood clotting problems, because you may have an embolism, a deep vein embolism, with sitting here for 10 hours with no type of movement. So I'm going to let everybody go home. We're going to extend this trial by a couple of days on the docket, and we will take as long as we need to take to lawfully and ethically and morally seat a good juror that will increase everyone's confidence in the process, right? I mean, I don't know how you do anything but that. But here we are. We're on a 10-minute break, and it's 6:30, and the court reporter, okay, Judge Everett, the court reporter, George Kappelman, and Zellman are all in judges' chambers right now. So something's going on. It's just disastrous. Oh, well, I mean, it's not the kind of disaster that ends trials. But when you think about the 4 jurors, let me ask y'all this question. If it was you, if you were the one sitting there all day, no breaks, no lunch, these people are not even close to having a jury. That's the killer. If they were just trying to get like one more juror, I'd be good. I'd say, fine, stay till midnight if you need to. They're not even close, y'all. They're not even close. So would you be really feeling motivated to be on this jury? Or would you be watching this courtroom out of control and think to yourself, I don't want to give up 3 or 4 weeks of my life to this poorly managed show? No, I don't want this. You understand my point? So I don't know. I think if I was the defense, I think I'd be raising holy hell. I would be jumping up and down about my client's civil rights, and that this made absolutely no sense, that there didn't seem to be a point for keeping them so late, not giving them they didn't have a lunch break. Are they going to give them a damn dinner break? I mean, this is curious, really, really, really curious. So some other things that I think is really interesting, and I hadn't heard anybody else talk about this or kind of lay this out, but listen to these statistics. And I think this is going to be something that has the potential to show up as an appellate issue, okay? So we know that the defense has asked at least four times, I think. Bill, he's trying to get up, and it's weird that he can't get up on the mattress. He probably wants to come in there with you. He can't. I think he fell and hurt himself again.
I don't know.
Was that a pain pill you gave him all ago?
Yeah.
Poor baby. You're all right, buddy. See? Oh, I think my dog must have fallen down. He's so old, y'all. I'm okay. So some interesting information that I think could pop up later on is the defense asked, I think, 4 times for a change of venue. And the last time that they asked, they actually hired like this hotshot statistics analyst guy, like he analyzes media, like what's popular in the media, how many times do people Google a name, things like that. They had the same kind of thing in Johnny Depp's trial. Anyway, Judge Everett rejected all that, said, nope, you're keeping it right here. I don't want to hear anything from you. That's how it is. So today, or I'm sorry, Monday, when they started this process, day one, or Tuesday, day one of jury selection, they had sent out 900 summons to appear for jury duty. All right. Of the 900 summons, 600 of those were summoned for days 1 and 2. Ask me how many showed up. These are court orders to come to jury duty. Guess how many showed up out of 600 for day 1 and 2? That would be 300 day 1, 300 day 2. 223. Yes, people. 223 citizens showed up for jury duty. Do you know what percentage that is? Only 37% of the entire summoned pool did what they were supposed to do and showed up. They defied a court order. Unheard of. Unheard of. You know, you get a couple, right? You get a few every time. You don't get 63% said, I'm sick of this. I'm not going to sit through jury selection for another Adelson trial. I think the people of Tallahassee are weary of this entire case. There have been so many trials, and they're not done yet. It's my opinion, and I think most people's opinion, that once they get Donna and she's found guilty, then I think they'll go for Wendy and they'll go for Harvey. So they're not 37% followed up on their direction from the court that they had to appear for jury duty. Isn't that really, really something? So obviously, this is a dramatically small starting pool, and then after they did the statutory excuses, why you can't serve, well, I'm in chemotherapy, stuff like that. They ended up with only 200 to choose from. After questioning, there were 99 there were 100 that were dismissed. 30% of the 37% that showed up were let go. Now, nobody has really talked about this. There's not really been, or that I've seen, there's not really been any explanation, or at least an explanation that would make sense. Some of the experts, they think maybe it's the notoriety of the case. I'm not gonna call it notoriety. I'm gonna call it weariness. That they feel like, well, how many people are gonna have to pay the price for this horrendous murder? Like, are we now, the main one who benefits is Wendy, but we're not even prosecuting Wendy. Now we're going to go for these two nearly 80-year-old people. How is that? I just think there may be a lot of people that have Adelson weariness. I think they're over it. The media coverage might also be another factor, because if you noticed, the cases that catch the attention of social media, yes, me, you, those cases that become infamous, the courts, the police officers, the families, they're over us. They're sick to death of the true crime community. If you agree with that, put a 1. I think they are. I think every time one of these extraordinary cases happen, or there's a trial set, I think everyone involved just sort of rolls their eyes and says, "Oh my God, here goes the true crime, drama circus again," right? So is it possible that these people recognize that there would be cameras and there would be vloggers, and they just didn't want to be associated with the drama? They don't want to be on this jury. They don't want their life upended by the media circus. When that guy came and talked about the Adelson trial and that there's no way they could get a fair jury seated in Leon County, he said that in 1 year, there were 92 million impressions for Adelson or Charlie Adelson. 92 million are searching. Oh, tell me what's going on with Charlie Adelson. So I found it shocking. I'm not an attorney. I found it difficult to understand that in this case, a small county, it's been going on for 10 years. They've had massive wall-to-wall coverage because there's 4 other trials before that. Prominent people, right? Got an oral surgeon, you got a law professor, a couple of law professors, an immigration attorney. It 92 million searches in 365 days for Charlie Adelson or Adelson related to Dan Markel, right? And you don't think that it would be wise to perhaps go out to another county to increase the chances of seating a good jury? I mean, I thought that was questionable by Judge Everett. And I know it's inconvenient to travel, and I know it costs more money, and I understand all that. They had to move Lori Vallow, right? I mean, these notorious cases, sometimes you need to do that. And I would have thought in 1 year you get 92 million impressions for Charlie Adelson. I think this could be the case that needed to be moved, or at least to bus in jurors from adjoining county. So high profile cases often look at this as jury dodging, right? That they say we're going to dodge the jury, we can't get a fair one, and then there's the fear of backlash. So I don't know. Maybe they'd have been better off going to a less visible county, because so many people are just weary of this, and they now recognize that the true crime social media presence turns these big cases into circuses on the ground. Not just the people that just talk about it, but people actually go there. Look at Karen Reed case. They were having chanting and singing and picnics on the ground outside the courthouse. I mean, it was remarkable. But there was a great deal of people that believed truly her to be innocent, right? So how many people were jury dodging? Of this 63% of people that ignored their summons, how many of them just sat down with their husband or their wife and they said, I can't imagine getting involved in that. I don't want our family to get put on blast. I don't want people to know that we're involved. I don't want our lives to be turned upside down. So it's really something to consider. You get 37% of respondents that show up. I don't know. It's a serious problem. I'll tell you another thing that I just couldn't believe. Like, I watched it and I couldn't believe it. Georgia Kappelman, that Surviving the Survivor, all the big channels, Fancy Fiction, everybody that just the Dan Markel fan club, right? You can't even say, "Oh, I love the yellow color of Donna's sweater today. That is very beautiful," because they will say, oh, you must be windy. You should be on trial. Your dog should hang. They've lost objectivity, right? And so I was shocked that Georgia Cappleman was questioning the jury or the potential jurors. She was doing her part. She was asking her questions, and this seasoned prosecutor that everyone absolutely adores, and she's very good at what she does. I'm not questioning that, which is all the more shocking. She said a juror's full name not once, but twice. What? Why would she do that? Oh, so maybe they would turn the cameras off and stop showing coverage of the voir dire? Or maybe she found this particular juror a little too independent. Maybe this particular juror had not bought into all the Adelson versus Markel stories for the past 10 years. Twice she said this juror's name. Twice, y'all. 2 times. How shocking, right? Shocking. I'm telling you, what they're doing to this jury, potential jury, it reeks of manipulation. What they're doing right now is it's punitive. These are the kind of things that prisoners of war experience. Not getting food, not having proper hydration, being denied bathroom breaks. I don't want to think bad things about them. I really don't. But when you stand there with the cameras rolling and you say a juror's name twice, because what do you think? Y'all answer me this. What do you think happened to that potential juror? You think that potential juror was allowed to stay up for consideration? Or do you think they said, because of your safety, we are going to have to dismiss you? And so Georgia Cappleman gets rid of a juror that she doesn't like, and she doesn't have to use any of her strikes. It's done for the safety of the juror. You may paint me skeptical. You may definitely accuse me of having a little bit too much of an open mind to all possibilities, but I am always going to give you my honest opinion about things that are taking place. I'm not going to bandwagon. I'm not going to try to make friends. I even had somebody one time that came into my like underneath one of my videos, left a comment, and they said something like, when you disagree with everybody, when you disagree with all the other channel creators, people don't want to listen to you. Okay. Don't listen then. I wish you would. Don't get me wrong. I do wish you would, because I do think the conversation is far more interesting when there are multiple sides that are offered. You know what I mean? But I don't think echo chambers, especially echo chambers when we're talking about fairness in the law, right? I think echo chambers have a potential to be incredibly, incredibly dangerous. Incredibly dangerous. And I'm gonna give you an example in just a minute. So all right, so mentioning names, and okay, so the standard protocol, of course, you're trying to protect the jurors' anonymity at all costs. This case has been crazy. You don't want the jurors experiencing harassment, and you damn sure don't want them to be doxxed. And so mentioning their names violates the court rules for streaming proceedings. Is that why it was done? Is Georgia trying to get the cameras out of the courtroom because Florida has sunshine laws? I don't know. And when you talk to all of the popular Dan Markel people, creators, and all the millions of subscribers that love to hate the Adelsons, they will all say the same thing. Oh, it wasn't that big of a deal. It was just a minor little slip up from Georgia Cappleman, your queen. Georgia Cappleman is the most competent prosecutor in Leon County and maybe in most of Florida. You can't have it both ways. Either she's competent and she's ethical and she's honest about what she's doing, or she said a juror's full name twice during jury selection. So I don't know what it meant. I gave you some of my brainstorming about how it could have happened, but I don't believe it was a mistake. One time, one slip up, sure, I'm all about making a mistake, but not twice. No way do I believe that. No way. No, there was something that she wanted to come out of that. I suspect it was that she didn't particularly like this juror for the prosecution side, right? That that it would have been that the person would have been a strong juror for the defense. And this got rid of him or them got rid of the one jury that was named without using a strike. So I don't know why it happened. I don't know, but that's that. All right. So um let's see. Do I want to go into all this? Um so um let's talk about echo chambers. You guys know how, well, let me ask you. If you know that Brittany J has been experiencing targeted harassment for over a year on YouTube, put a one. If you were not aware that Brittany J was receiving targeted harassment, put a two. Um, there, everybody is mad at each other because of things that have been said and done, right? And it's natural. When somebody says something mean about you or your family, you get mad, you want to fight back. And when you fight back, then you hurt somebody else's feelings and then they want to fight back, so they strike back. And you have this back and forth thing, right? And it escalates 9 times out of 10, it escalates each round, it becomes more and more hurtful. And because somehow YouTube has turned into like a major league sports auditorium, coliseum, we also have tens of thousands of subscribers that have chosen up sides, one somewhere. Remember, I'm talking about echo chambers being dangerous. Now, there are favored creators. I would say Cluminati is a favorite, or Cluminati and Cletus are favored um, creators against Brittany J. J is for Justice is a favorite, and then and then there's a group of people that really support Brittany J. And so it's not just the creators mad at each other and going back and forth, but then there's all these tens of thousands of people that are also going back and forth at one another. Okay. So within each of these channels, there is an echo chamber, right? If you support Brittany J and you go over to Brit's and you say something like, oh, I just hate that J is for Justice, she's so awful, then everyone in the channel is going to go, I know, you're right. And then if you go over to Clues or Jay's and you say, man, I just hate that Brittany J, everyone in the channel is going to go, oh, you're so right. I just hate it. Okay. So it's, those are the echo chambers, correct? So in what way then do they become dangerous? Well, there was a little bit of an example of this last night. It has been, I think, I don't want to talk out of turn. If I'm wrong about this, forgive me. I believe that Cluminati deleted this section from her live, but she did a live where, once again, she's very angry, Brittany J, and she's going at Brittany J, and she says, she's like, well, so apparently Cluminati has an ex-husband who was a horrendous criminal, acts against children. Okay, he's a horrible guy. Horrible guy. All right. And she says on her live last night, you guys weaponized my ex-husband against me, right? Now, when Clue found out that this guy was hurting kids, she turned him in. She turned him in, she got a divorce, and she went out and made a life for herself. Okay. So now people are really mad with her, and I think Smiley's World is the first one who brought the story to YouTube. And so Clue was making the comment that the people that were against her side, that they were saying that, she was married to this creepy guy and that he was a really bad guy, and that they had, quotation marks, weaponized her ex-husband against her. And then she says last night on her live, she says, you better be careful. And I'm paraphrasing. I'm not going to show a clip of it, but in paraphrasing it, she says, you guys better be careful because I may weaponize him against you. Right? So, as you can imagine, people melted down. People freaked out. They said, oh my God, she just threatened Brittany J with a pedophile. Like, how are you gonna weaponize a pedophile against someone online unless you're threatening their kids? Really weird, right? It was a really, yes, common sense. There's clips out there. I'm not going to play it. I'm not going to put it up on my channel. But nevertheless, I saw it. I watched it. It's now been deleted on her channel. Rightly so. It should have been deleted. It was, look, I've said stupid things. People say stupid things when they're upset. So anyway, so she says this, and now it's just like, what the hell did that mean? Like, how do you even make sense of that, right? Was it a direct threat against Brit's children? Was it a suggestion that she is in contact with this guy and that she would have him on her channel as a guest? I don't know how she can do that. The man is in prison for something like 30 years or something. I mean, when I say he's a bad guy, he's the monster that we all fear. Okay, he's a bad dude, 100%. So it was a weird comment, and I don't know. I find it. How do I say this? Okay. Here's how I want to say it. If the intended meaning was to scare her, saying, I'll weaponize him and he'll come hurt you guys, then that makes her a very bad person. However, hold on. I have a very difficult time believing that a woman who would turn her husband in, get a divorce, testify against him in a court of law, and then go on and build a life, as he goes to prison. I have a hard time believing that she would threaten such a thing. Now, maybe she did. I heard it. It definitely sounded like that's what she meant. but maybe it could be, maybe it was a poorly worded, maybe it was something like, well, you accused me. How can I say this? Maybe she's thinking, you accused me of helping him or protecting him or being in on it with him. And so I'm going to sue you for slander for saying that I gave shelter to a pedophile. You see what I mean? Maybe it was something like that. It wasn't at all that she would actually involve him in actively doing something. Maybe it was more of the topic of conversation that would be weaponized. And okay, so Reith is saying that some have said that he is released. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that. So nevertheless, okay, because we're talking about echo chambers. So that gives you the setting, right? That's the that was the topic. That's what was said. And here's the echo chamber effect. The echo chamber effect is that everyone in her channel said, oh, she didn't say that. That's not what she meant. And then, of course, everyone in Jay's for Justice channel and Nonsense's channel and these creators, they're all saying she didn't mean that. She did not threaten Brittany's children with a pedophile. She did not do that. And yet you listening to the clip and you're going, well, she did. She definitely said it. Now, did she misspeak? Did it come out in a way that that was mistake unintended? Maybe. Like I'm good. Everybody misspeaks. Everybody has moments where they say some boneheaded thing, right? But here's the danger, y'all. The danger is an echo chamber who then overlooks that comment, that idea, that it's now okay not only to go after someone else's kids or go real life, do background checks on just stupid YouTube creators. You're with the help of this targeted harassment, Clues Channel, Jay, Julie Skolnick, that group. You're really setting up a no man's land on YouTube. You're ruining the YouTube space that allows people to discuss ideas and information without you're requiring that they lose their anonymity, and you're setting up a scenario where only people that have never been arrested, never had money troubles, you're these are going to be the only people that are going to be allowed to have YouTube channels, are going to be people that you can't find information to humiliate them and embarrass them. Okay, good luck. We'll probably have 2 creators on YouTube forevermore. Why? Because we've all been there, done that. We are all human, and humans make mistakes, right? So the platform was intentionally created to be a space to talk about ideas and events, information, not like a Facebook social media, oh, let's talk to each other. You're with your targeted harassment and the echo chamber, you're not holding your creators accountable for the things they're saying and doing. You're knowingly letting them lie to you and about you. Not only are you allowing them to lie, you're supporting them. You're becoming a part of the lie. Jay is for Justice said, I heard it live when she said it. I was listening. She said, Brittany J had a Suboxone strip under her tongue, and that's why she wasn't talking. Now, in truth, the reason she wasn't talking is because she was listening to a clip of B Tim on Queen Bee's channel. She wasn't interrupting B Tim while he was talking. She was sitting quietly. The camera was on. She was motioning like, see, do you hear what he's saying? And she wasn't speaking. She wasn't interrupting him. Jay said, oh my God, you can see it. Look, it's under her tongue. Oh my God, watch. In 10 minutes, she's going to be totally different. She's going to be slurring her words and she's going to be, look, she's literally taking her Suboxone live on the air. She said it, bigger than Dallas. Now, oh, it's been cleaned up. It's been deleted. Not the whole stream. She edited the stream to take out that portion. And she's saying to her subscribers, to the world, oh my God, Brittany J is such a liar. I never said that. I never said that she was using Suboxone strips. I never said that she had strips under her tongue while she was live. What a liar. You're such a liar. And you know what? The people listening also heard her when she did say those things, but they're in the channel now and they're going, yeah, Jay never said that. She didn't say that, Brittany, you liar. Okay, so it's all fun and games. It's all fun and games right now. But those of you that are doing this, you're failing to hold your creator, your favorite creator, accountable for their messaging, for their honesty, for their ethical, ethical management of their channel. When you fail to hold them to those standards, you will pay the ultimate price before this is all over with. This is what the echo chamber is. This is why echo chambers are dangerous. And it holds true for me. It holds true for anyone. And I hold myself to that. I try. And I went hard at Jays for Justice years ago, probably 3 or 4 years ago. No, it's probably 5 years ago. And I mean, I pretty well told her to go, to places that were dark and hot and stay there forever. I told her to go to hell. Told her to kiss my ass. I think I even played the Lily Allen song, fuck you very much. I mean, it was bad, okay? It's a bad deal. And I apologized. All right. Now, the apology doesn't mean I didn't do it. I did do it, and everybody knew I did it, and I paid the price for that, and I willingly accepted responsibility for losing my temper. Okay, I did. And I had a conversation with Incognito Potato, and I apologized to her. And I acknowledged that I was embarrassed, and it wasn't I didn't act like like I had any learning. I was acting like a damn heathen, and I did what I had to do, right? And yet Jay is still lying, still telling lies about things I do or don't do. I mean, her version of me that she puts out to the true crime community is so skewed and wrong. But I don't get angry with her. I don't come at her anymore. This is who she is. She's certainly not going to quit doing it just because I call her on it. But her channel knows when she's lying. Her channel subscribers that care about her and they enjoy time with her and they have fun with her, they're there when she says these things, and they're there when she lies and says, I didn't do it. And they also are saying, she didn't do it. That's the echo chamber. So the comment that was made by Cluminati about the whole pedophile, she's going to weaponize the pedophile against others, against YouTube. the problem with the echo chamber in this is that you've got nonsense Queen Bee and others that are saying, that she didn't really mean it and that's not what she said and blah blah blah. We do have to have some standards. If you want to have confidence in things that happen and stories that unfold, you've got to know who lies and who tells the truth. You've got to know what reality is if you hope to really get the most out of your time on YouTube or anywhere really, but I'm just speaking on YouTube because it's the only thing that that I do. But um I don't know. I think the same thing is true with the true crime stories, the big cases and such. It is easy to hate the Adelsons. And maybe yes, we should definitely hate them because, Dan Markel was a major, major asset to the world, to the United States. He had a brilliant mind, um, great education. He was poised to train other great attorneys. And when he died, we lost a lot. The community, the United States culture, we lost not only his input, but all the people he would have trained that also would have been special attorneys and, you know, fighting for the good of the world. So the fact that he was taken away, was murdered by two guys that don't really add anything of value to the world, right? Katie Magbanua, Louis Safrito, they were an underclass that were their jobs, their careers were dealing drugs. So it was a horrible thing that Dan Markel was killed, not just for his family that love him, but it was horrible for even all the loss that we have, that a great mind was lost. But I think that we also need to be a little bit more accurate as we're evaluating all these things that are happening. That everybody made excuses for Georgia Cappleman today. They said, "Oh, she didn't mean it. It was just a little accident that she said a juror's name twice. It's just a little accident. Let's be honest, it was a problem." And it's a little hard to believe that the second time was an accident. It's a little bit difficult to believe that. At the same time, they say that Josh Zellman is just the worst attorney on the planet. He's just asking horrible questions, that he talks so slow. And Donna's yellow sweater is awful. We it we just it just needs. Oh, I don't doubt that at all, Pussycat. I think Wendy was withering in the shadow of Dan Markel. You know what I mean? I think Dan Markel was a big hot shot, and maybe he had not quite reached that stature, but I definitely believe he was destined for NYU or Harvard. Like he was going to be a professor at one of the big ones, right? He was on his way. And I think that tore Wendy up. I think that was part of the reason that the marriage failed, is that she was no longer Princess Wendy. She was no longer the smartest person in the household. And I think that got her. I really do. I agree, Pussycat. I really do. She did not in no way was Wendy it she was not even in the same league as what Dan Markel was in terms of their chosen professions, right? And I think that's what tore the marriage down, you know. But anyway, so I do want to, on my channel, as we go through the Donna Adelson prosecution, and I think she's going to be found guilty. And she is guilty. Um, but I do want to. I'm going to be true to my reactions, I'm going to judge it in as best as I can. I'm going to try to be really honest about how I see the evidence and the way that those cases are presented, and it may not be popular and people may not care to listen if I'm not, all things Adelson suck and all things, George Kappelman are perfect. I can accept that, but I stand by what I said. It's a much more interesting conversation when both sides can state their positions. Even the side of stand. How do I say this? Those people that have lost objectivity, where they are 100% full on board with the prosecution, and they cannot acknowledge not a single positive thing about the defense side. Like it's like a knee jerk reaction. Like, can we be honest? The yellow sweater is pretty. Okay, it is a great color, and it's a great color for Donna. And what does that have to do with the price of eggs in China? In no way does that take away from the very real fact that Donna Adelson probably ordered the hit, right? But if you say, oh, look, her sweater is so pretty, I wonder if it's from Talbot's, and then you get a bunch of people accuse you of being windy, that's weird. Okay, so we have to be smart. We have to want an open conversation so that we can actually talk about the real evidence and the real facts and the real events. Otherwise, it's just a boring kind of circus. And I'm getting kind of weary of the true crime circuses. I've been kind of taking a back step. You know what I've really enjoyed? I have really enjoyed listening to Colby Ryan and his new content, where he's currently talking about Ruby Frankie, Jody Hildebrandt, and Lori Vallow and Chad. He's talking about the psychology of what happened, like how things could have gotten so weird and crazy and gone off the rails in two different families that didn't know each other, right? So his stuff, boy, if y'all have not been watching, please go over and watch. He has turned it up a notch. Okay, he is going to be a big creator. I predict he's gonna get his big 100, 200, 300 subs. I have no doubt about it. So one of the reasons that I love the coverage so much is that it's not just jump on the hate train. It is an examination of what was working and what was not working. Where did things go off the rails, and could there have been a way to get things back on track? Those are the interesting conversations to me. I just have lost that. I don't see much utility in just saying, oh, I hate Lori. Lori sucks. Lori's awful. Lori's stupid. I hate her. Lori's ugly. Lori. Hate her. It's boring. It's predictable. When there's so many interesting things to talk about, like how in the hell did you end up with Lori and Chad doing exactly what Ruby Frankie and Jody Hildebrandt did? How'd that happen? That is fascinating. All right. So, Wendy did not measure up. Yeah, that is absolutely true. Let's see. All righty. Zelda, are you feeling better? Do you feel like you're healing? Zelda, YouTube. Oh, Zelda, thank you so much for putting the link up. So this is a link to Colby's channel. And if you were, if you watched Lori Vallow stuff, or you paid attention to the, everything that happened with JJ, and there were so many murders, right? It was just a nightmare. I think you'll really, really enjoy Colby's channel. They were going to kill their kids too, Frank. I mean, they were damn near did it, right, Pussycat? That they were starving those children. And that came directly from Jody Hildebrandt, who thought that she was treating people, kids, like lab rats, using behavioral techniques of punishment. And she didn't know what she was doing, number one, and number two, she was a sadistic asshole. Oh yeah, his work, Pussycat, his work, his YouTube stuff is just, he has improved. It is great. It's so enjoyable to watch. Yeah, the stress really, really. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how you get over what he's been through. I don't think you get over it. I think you go through it, right? You just put your head down and say, this is the facts. I have lost my family, and I just have to build a new normal. And he's doing that. And he's got a lot of people that love him very much. He's got a newfound family, that, adopted family, that really, really support him and love him. He's friends with the detectives that were on the case, and he's got his wife and his children, and he's got it going on. He's a great role model for anyone that is going through very difficult times. Two kinds of parents: ones that care too much and ones that don't give a shit. Yeah, you know, the most important thing about parents, according empirically, um, the most important things about parents is that they be dependable to the kid. That when a kid has a dependable parent, that they can predict how that parent is going to react, that seems to be the healthiest path forward into adulthood. And that means even parents that are a little bit, they're not really very responsive, or maybe they drink or have these problems, as long as they're predictable so that the kid can predict what they're doing, they seem to heal and get past that. The worst kind of attachment is anxious, insecure attachment, right? The insecure attachment where the person can never predict the state the parent will be in. Is this parent going to be responsive and loving and available, or is this parent going to be angry and aggressive and punitive, or is this parent going to be relaxed and calm but a little bit, checked out and unresponsive? The lack of continuity is very difficult for people to overcome. And as you listen to Colby Ryan, he definitely tells a story of a mom who didn't beat them. She wasn't physically assaultive when they were growing up, but she was all over the map. Sometimes she was mom of the year, and sometimes she herself was a child and needed a mom. And other times she was dismissive, like she didn't even know she had children. And other times she was raging and angry. So, oh, you can never, listen, Pussycat, you can never be too rich, too thin, or too dependable to your children. That is for sure. Oh yeah, common sense. He's doing great. His wife is very powerful, strong woman, and he's got lots of good friends, and people have stepped up to the plate to be there and replace, or not replace, but support him through the important, people that he's lost. And he's really making things right. And I love that he's doing a YouTube channel where he's making meaning out of his trauma, where he's giving something back, and maybe others can learn and benefit from the difficult, path that he's gone through. So so those are the channels, those are the channels that you want to listen to and spend your time having your thoughts prompted and provoked to thought. The fighting and the screaming at each other and threatening each other with pedophiles and lying about what you said, those are the things that kill YouTube. Those are the things that make it an embarrassment to say I'm a YouTube creator. I don't even want to say that to people because the trauma group has made dirtied it up so badly on this personal weird. I don't know. You know what I think? I've come to the decision. I think people that are engaging in these trauma wars kind of deal, I think these are people that don't have anything to say, that they don't have any profound thoughts or knowledge about the world or just fun, interesting talents. They don't have anything to offer. And so they're reduced then to just target harassment. They choose a victim and then they focus on that victim. And you've got 3, 4, 5 channels all coming at that one person. I think these are people that are making a ton of money being your run of the mill bullies, little schoolyard bullies. That's it. All right. I think you're probably amazing, Pussycat. Thank you. Made me feel better about my relationship with my daughter. You are absolutely more than welcome, Pussycat. He heals through his channel. Yeah, absolutely. Meaning making is a really, really powerful component of overcoming and healing from trauma, even complex trauma. But with complex trauma, it's a little bit more. You need to also make sure that you're doing yoga or aerobics, something that you're really connecting your senses, your emotional life, your physical movement, your core. They all need to be corresponding, and yoga seems to be the best path. So you start yoga, then you go into therapy. You start projects that provide meaning for what you've been through. You practice radical acceptance. You develop a great toolbox of effective coping skills, and then you heal, right? You enjoy your best life. And that is the name of the game, enjoying your best life. Isn't that right, Zelda? Zelda's laid up in a hospital bed enjoying her best life right now. But seriously, Zelda, I do hope that you are feeling better, and just try to sleep. The more you sleep, the more your cells repair themselves. All right. Well, I myself had a little bit of a little medical procedure today, and so I hurt. I am not feeling good, and so I am going to end this live stream. I made it an hour and 18 minutes. That's not too bad. You're so right. They can ramble on all night about nothing, spewing hatred and anger, never accepting responsibility for their own mistakes. It's why the channel will never go anywhere, and it's failing. Do you think it's failing though? I mean, it looks like Clue's channel is growing. Jay's channel, I don't think is growing anymore, but I think Clue's is still growing. But I don't know, and I choose. I'm just tired of the echo chamber. I thought for sure people would say, "Oh, Clue, maybe you went a little too far. Maybe that wasn't appropriate." But no, they didn't. And no, and nonsense was saying, "Oh, what she said was fine." No, it wasn't nonsense. It wasn't fine. Even though I don't believe that she meant it the way it came out. I think it was she misspoke really. I think it was more of like, well, the fact that you said I said that I was protecting him, that is where you were wrong, and I can weaponize that by taking you to court. But maybe I'm wrong about that. That's only a guess on my part. Vicky Carpenter, hi there. I made another funny video. I gotta post it. It's part of my excuse with a rubber exercise with a rubber band. Zelda, post your channel link. Let everybody make sure that they're going over and watching your funny videos, please. Oh, I wish you did too, Common Sense. You could come over and sit on my balcony. We could watch the pelicans fly by. It'd be great, wouldn't it? Loads of fun. Instead, we just have to get together on the tubes. Zelda, post the link to your channel so everybody can go over there, okay? Please, guys, would you do a thumbs up if for nothing more than the fact that, I'm in a little pain, and it'll make me feel better if I get some thumbs up, all right? How's that for pandering? That's what you call pandering and manipulation. Failing because no one wants to hear the same old rhetoric. It's nasty, ugly hatred. It brings you down. Thank you. You said exactly my experience. I'm so weary, and it's embarrassing that you have 40-year-old women acting like that. And it's even more embarrassing that Cletus is sitting back there endorsing it. It's not my business. I don't even know these people, but my husband would yank me up and say, "Have you lost your damn mind?" Talking like that on the internet. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Harley. Thank you. Appreciate you. So echo chambers. I don't want to be an echo chamber in the Donna Adelson trial. I really want to be able for everyone to feel comfortable saying, "Oh, I thought Georgia Kappelman was awesome today," or "I thought Dugan was amazing," or "I thought Josh did a great job. I thought the defense was awesome." I want everybody to be able to really voice their true thoughts about how it's going, what the high points are, what the low points are, and no one get attacked because of what you say. I promise you this. If you come in here and say, "Oh, I love Donna's yellow sweater. I wonder where I could buy it," I'm not going to let people attack you for that, okay? It makes for a boring conversation when everyone's saying exactly the same thing. I'd much rather have debates. I would much rather have people talk about what they're watching and go, "Wow, did you see that? That was a great move." Or, "I don't understand that. Why did Georgia do that?" Or, "Why did Judge Everett do that?" I'd really like to kind of pull it up a notch in terms of worthwhile conversation, if you know what I mean. But rather than just everybody hating the defense and loving the prosecution. Got some good men. I told you they were going to give you the good drugs, Zelda. Fax me a few. Now, you know damn well, Zelda, if you say that in jest playing, it'll be all over the internet that you're dealing drugs. No, she was playing, people. She can't even make a phone call by herself. She's in traction in a hospital, okay? So just calm down, everybody. She's not peddling drugs. So funny. Yeah, I know they got you on good drugs. But you need to take advantage and sleep. Sleep as much as you can because you will heal faster, okay? That would be great, Common Sense. Yeah, it'd be fun. We were talking the other night saying we should do a YouTube meetup in the Greek Isles. How fun would that be? Be so great. Okay, folks, I am going to get out of here mostly because I'm feeling a little bit sore. All right. Y'all are awesome. Thank you so much for being here. And I think we're going to do our pretty song, okay? And, we'll just keep following this whole Donna Adelson jury selection from hell. Eventually, we're going to have a jury and there will be a trial. All right? All right. I'll talk to you later. Oh, hit the thumbs up, subscribe if you want to, and I'll be back tomorrow. See you later.
Woke up at dawn with the pelicans in flight. Coffee brewing strong by dawn's early light. Waves whisper secrets to my open heart. The life around this water gets me off to a great start. Parrots wild, squawking loud in the old palm tree.
Well, glory, hallelujah, June. I can't believe it. Okay, so opening statements tomorrow then, guys. Amazing. Thank you, June. That is unbelievable. I appreciate you telling us.
Living a pursuit of peace, family ties, and the happiness we seek. Love for God and country running deep in our veins. Through the storms and the trials, we break those chains. Good living brings the blessings we see. The rainbow horizons calling to me. Living each moment, giving truth from the heart. No deceptions woven, no false starts. It goes like a front porch swaying in the ocean breeze. Watching the sunset fade away with pink and bluey. Teach the young ones right from wrong with care. Hold them close when the world's unfair. In this Gulf Coast life, we find our way, building memories that never stray. Oh, rainbow horizons after the rain, diamonds dancing on the waves back again. Honest living in pursuit of peace, family ties, and the happiness we see. Love for God and country running deep in our veins. Through the storms and the trials, we break those chains. Good living brings the blessings we see. Rainbow horizons calling to me. When the night falls quiet and stars shine bright, I thank the Lord for this humble light, for the flag that waves and the grace from above, filling our hearts with endless love. No riches compared to the peace we found in the ties we